This is a teaser to gauge audience interest on this topic, understanding an existing TV serial the way I know its makers intended it to be understood, even though most of the audience took it superficially in a way contradicted by the clues they gave to its real meaning. That TV serial was this. Most viewers understood it as a fantasy story with bits of science fiction. Those who watched carefully found it full of ostensible mistakes or omissions, things that didn't make sense or looked sloppily done. These viewers' problem was with their premises. I'm Robert Goodman, and I was in a different position from most of the audience. I'd been a friend of showrunner Damon Lindelof since he was just entering his teen years, and I recognized on Lost much that had previously passed between us over the years. So I'm able to provide that perspective with analysis. Now I'm inviting you to partake similarly to when Damon, fresh from his work on Crossing Jordan, emailed me to say I'd probably be interested in this new project. But even if I'd never had such a relationship with him, there's one key fact viewers should have taken more seriously, that the previous experience of the makers of Lost had been with detective shows. This YouTube channel is not for viewers who had the typical understanding and interest in Lost. It's not going to address many of their questions or complaints, but rather treat them as irrelevant distractions for the suckers. They're like asking for the exact intonations for the words the magician says to make the metal rings penetrate each other to link and unlink for you. Like asking how the magician disposes of the bloody rag used to clean the blade after sawing the lady in half. Or like the YouTube commenter who wanted to know the fate of the young lovers in the movie The Village after the denouement that made that question unimportant to most viewers. Rather, this channel is for those willing to look at Lost the way I and another friend of mine and Damon did from the beginning, as presenting a kind of criminal caper in the form of a puzzle that the viewer can solve by close observation. A detective show wherein the audience has to be the detective, because the show omitted the typical kind of denouement wherein the master detective shows us what was really done and how. Along the way, you'll get an enormous amount of background info. It's all based ultimately on public knowledge of various kinds, non fictional and fictional, but it will help you to know what particular things Damon and his father were interested in that drew my attention or confirmed them as clues in the show. Some of it I'll discuss right here, and some of it will be assigned as homework, reading or viewing, because too time consuming. Many viewers caught such things as the allusions to the story of Jacob and Esau, but not to the history of the Jacob Baker estate swindle. We will resolve and sometimes dissolve the complaints of viewers of Lost who analyze the plot intensely, but with the mistaken assumption that what appeared to be fantasy was fantasy rather than magic tricks. Things that didn't make sense under the assumptions will suddenly make sense. Mysterious motivations will become unmysterious. On the other hand, scenes that they took as possibly explanatory become mere fantasies in the form of lies. You'll laugh at lots of allusions as well as illusions, and allusions to illusions. I'll point out clues in the scenery, two-way reading of dialogue, names of people and places, promos, and even the music. Where else could you find clues ranging as ostensibly far afield as Alfred Hitchcock and It's a Mad, 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 Mad World? And although the fantasy turns out to not to be fantasy, the show incorporates the significant bit of science fiction, one significant bit of science fiction. Not some far fetched thing like time travel, which is accomplished on the show by knocking people out and making them believe they've awoken at a different time. but a plausible extension of known technology. Having Michael Persinger's wireless thought transmission method work reproducibly and be vastly scaled up. We'll also examine precedents for the technique of hiding one story within another. If you liked or even take seriously the Wendy theory on YouTube, which I encourage you to view to warm up, you'll get what my analysis is about. The Wendy theory is undoubtedly correct, even if it doesn't get every detail exactly right. Too bad it doesn't pack nearly the laughs that an understanding of Lost as a cloak and dagger caper does. As a side benefit, you'll gain appreciation of the first 2 seasons of Guff and Millar's Smallville and likely other stuff. Lots of challenges ahead. Merely knowing the Lindelofs didn't make it easy. For example, it took many years of sculling on Lost and its background before I realized references to Candidate on the show meant the Manchurian kind. I'd long figured the meaning it seemed to have for most viewers was misdirection, but I had other plausible guesses until this realization hit and was confirmed by lots of other clues that induced chuckles of recognition. Be prepared to think at high levels of abstraction. For instance, Lost includes several imitations of the cameos Hitchcock became famous for incorporating in his movies, including one such motif that does not occur directly in any movie, but matches the style of some. But these were not mere sight gags on Lost. They were clues. Hitchcock was a director, therefore, the depiction of a character in an analogous position to a Hitchcock cameo on Lost is a way of saying that character was or aspired to be a director of the plot. The more interest there is in this channel, the sooner the next entry will be forthcoming. That one will culminate in how I came to know Damon Lindelof and about things he enjoyed. But to get there, you'll need more background about me and how I came to this interest and eventual undertaking. I'll try to index the playback bar so less patient viewers can skip parts they may consider too digressive. We'll also have more visuals soon. I won't even be the only talking head. I'll engage others who knew the Lindelofs, and I'll respond to your comments here. My main YouTube channel is of short videos of my homemade fireworks and one done at the same location of a pagan ritual by another friend, Bob. As of now, it's been over 14 years since I put anything up there, and in the background of one of the firework videos, my friends Ralph and Kathy can be heard saying, "There's a site online that hosts and streams videos." YouTube was new and unfamiliar. My less than a minute videos would be YouTube Shorts now, but are grandfathered as full videos. Ralph was the videographer. Like and subscribe, and I'll respond to comments either in thread or in the next entry. Oh, and the wolf? Oh, doesn't every talking head on YouTube need a stuffed sidekick? Bye-bye.